Well, I'll tell you what, I'll just start out by saying this. There's a lot of fight and a lot of will on 10th and Diamond. A lot of fight and a lot of will. This team's got that fight in them, they got that will in them, they got that stuff that's the great foundation of the building of a program. It wasn't pretty. In fact, at times it was downright ugly. But the moral of the story here is we found a way to win. We overcame in the first quarter. We had 11 yards of offense. 11. They had 192. We fought our way all the way back to 334 yards of offense. We rushed for 212 yards, which we have to do. Okay? And we played against an outstanding defense, which you knew that. All of you knew that coming in here. I knew it and you knew it. I knew it wasn't going to be pretty. The first half we were struggling a little bit on defense, which is a bad combination. That's what I was afraid could not happen, and it did. But give credit to them. I thought they had a great game plan. I thought their quarterback was on fire. I thought they made all the plays that were there to be made, they made. That's a great coaching staff. And I knew that they were going to have their team super prepared. We lost our center. We put the freshman guard to freshman center. That's not easy to do. He's shotgun snapping. I mean, you process that. Matt Brown was out after the first kickoff return. Process that. We had to play a freshman tailback. You know, we had a bunch of penalties go against us, and we had to overcome all that. There's a lot of adversity on the football field, on the road, but this is a young team, fought that adversity and came all the way back. I'm proud of my team. I'm proud of the way they fought. Obviously, I told you guys this was going to be a little like this as we went, but as long as we found a way to keep getting some wins and keep stealing them and keep fighting, most importantly, the foundation of our program is what's most important, and that's hard-going, hard-charging coaches, players, administrators. It's just who we are. We want to get back on that train. We're going to take it back to Philadelphia and love every minute of that train ride as we approach the city and really have a great deal of respect for our university and giving us the opportunity to be in the Big East and giving us an opportunity to compete at a high level. I know we're going to grow and I know we'll continue to get better, but this is something we can build on. Any questions?
So can you put it into words? I mean, this is the first time that Temple has won consecutive games in the Big East. First time that Temple's in first place. I mean, can you just talk about that?
I mean, we're in such a world of one game at a time, Keith, right now. It's every week. I've been coaching a long time. I've been in a lot of places. We are battling. Our coaches, our players, we're battling. I mean, when I tell you we're straining every week, I'm just telling you that's the way it is. Practices are hard. We're grinding. We're just grinding as a program right now to get every inch we can get. So I'm so focused in the moment, it's hard for me to process that. You know what I mean? That we're 2-0. And you know what? I'm grateful that we're 2-0. But we're in such a minute-by-minute, day-by-day, game-by-game fist fight. You know, it's just us willing and straining that I can't really get too much beyond that. You know, and we got a big game coming this week. You know, I don't even know did Rutgers win or not. I don't even know.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, okay. So we got a ranked team coming to Philadelphia, and we just got to get back to work, and we got to put every ounce of energy, sweat, whatever we got, we're gonna put together. We're gonna storm the field in Philadelphia and just let it all hang out one more time. So I just wanted to convey to you guys the real deal of where we are right now, you know, and I'm proud of where we are. It's just, that's really what it is right now. It's imperfect, you know, but God, you got to kind of love the grit, and I don't care who you are. I don't stats and this and that. It's just you got to love the grit. And you guys, most of you in here, I believe, are Philadelphia people, and you got to love the grit of Philly and the grit in this team, and that's really what this story is about right now. It ain't about like first downs. It ain't about anything else, man. It's just about a damn gritty team that wants to get better. They want to compete. They're not intimidated. No, we're imperfect. No, we're young. We make so many mistakes. We leave so many yards on the field. We do some things that you're like, tell me that didn't just happen. I wouldn't trade that team. I walked in that locker room. Wow, wow, wow. That makes you proud.
How much Chris struggled, or what did he do on that last drive to get clicking on the third
quarter? He just made a few plays. He made some plays in the game. He gave some. He lost some plays in the game. It's kind of like, it's kind of who we are. Des?
Yeah, hard fought win for you. Congratulations.
Thanks, Des.
Talk about, coming back and getting it in the fashion that you got it. People, this is what people expect to see from a team coached by you, and you come in here and do it. So you talk about that.
It's really my most proud moment for my football team. That it was ugly. It was downright not good in the first half. But the foundation of our program, of what I want our program to be, is a gutty, hard-nosed, tough-ass program that will fight you. Okay? That's what I want. That means everything to me. To be able to win this game in that fashion is how you build the bricks and the mortar for the future. That's how it happens. Way better for our team than if we were, say, on fire, which we were the furthest from that. But if we were, this is better. It's better for our growth. And I know this, it's going to be like this now. It's going to happen now. We're young. We were a MAC team coming into the conference. We're young. We got good young players. But, we're going to get some and lose. It's just the way it is. But I know this. You tell that team right there, they'll get back to work on Monday morning. Their tails will be in that seat. They'll be eager. They'll be ready to fight Rutgers. And that's just the nature of the beast. I'm proud of that, and it makes me most proud. Des, you know me a long time, back in Connecticut days at Cheshire. And that's got to be the building of your program for the future. If you don't have that, you don't have anything.
Coach, can you talk about the last drive in regulation? You get the fourth down catch from Harris and then that 33-yard pass, and just talk after missing on 2 fourth downs in 2 previous drives.
That was really the hardest thing. I'm an offensive line coach. I'm a run game guy. For us not to convert those 2 fourth downs was really hard for me. Really hard. For us, I shouldn't say me. It's not about me. It's hard for us. We pride ourselves on that. But we had a couple of breakdowns in there, to tell you the truth, and they almost were too costly to overcome. But again, resiliency, and our defense rose up for us and gave us more cracks. And then we had that drive, and we connected on some plays. We have all of that in us now. We can make a bunch of plays. We just are not consistent enough doing it. It's herky jerky.
Coach, you talked about grit and strain. You've now blocked 2 field goals in the fourth quarter in the last 2 games. First, do you know who blocked the kick? Second, can you just speak to the special teams effort?
I thought the effort was great. There's too many penalties. The blocking the kick effort is phenomenal. But we have too many penalties. We had a chance in the second. I felt in the second half we were going to open this thing up. That's how I really felt. But we just kept getting pinned with penalties down on the 6th and on the 8th. We're not the kind of team that can, consistently drive the length of the field. We're just not. So when I saw that happen, I was like, my God, there was penalty after penalty after penalty, and that's got to go away. That's something that's my job. I got to make that go away. We can't afford that, and I'm going to get back to work on that and find out why that's happening, what corrections have to be made, personnel changes have to be made. But we can't play the long field against a defense like that. You ain't going to come out with too many of these.
Any thought at the end of regulation of going for 2?
Yes.
Do you feel it?
Yes. I mean, when I tell you, I almost had my mind made up I was going for 2. I was like, I'm ending this right now. I'm taking my shot right now. I had a freshman center in there. He has never really played center. He's snapping the ball. All I could envision was an exchange problem. We were hanging on a little bit. I said to myself, let's end this right now. I talked to the staff. I said, what do you guys want to do? And it was a mixed bag. So it's my job. I got to make the call. I just decided, you know what? We fought back too hard. I can't let these kids, not win it on this thing. Let's go. We got the best kicker in the country. Let's go kick the extra point. And in my heart, I said to myself, we'll go to overtime and win it with a field goal. And in fact, you saw what I did at the end. I know our guy's best on the left side. He had some struggles on the right side. So what did I say? You know what? I've had enough. I was afraid we were going to have a center quarterback exchange problem. We might have been able to pound that thing. It looked like we were starting to pound it right then. And I just said, stop it right now. Call timeout. Brought him over. We're centering the ball to the left. That's where he's best. And the best kicker in college football has got to go win the game for Temple right now. And I wanted to have one extra down in case it was a bad snap. We told Connor to fall on the ball so we'll re-kick it. And that was our strategy. We're lucky it worked out. The strategy I had earlier didn't work out so good. When I had I called a timeout when I didn't have to, and I knew I didn't have to call that timeout earlier before overtime. And when I wanted to, before the half. I'm sorry. I wanted to. We work all the time on fast field goal. So I said I want to center this team with a timeout right now, And I felt like we could run we do it all the time in practice. We're money at 12 seconds. So I saw the clock. I said, I'm calling timeout. Let's get our team together. Let's talk about what we want to do. We wanted to take a shot down the field. And I said, if we have to run it out and kick it, we're ready to go. We had the team ready to go, and then we fumbled the ball. But that's why I did what I did. Sometimes with a young team, you got to gather them up a little bit. If we were a little more veteran, you'd say, hey, it's first down. Go ahead and get a play off. Don't do that. But I did that calculated, and maybe that wasn't, in hindsight, the best thing I could have done. But that's why I did that. That was my rationale. And that was my rationale at the end of the game, and it worked out. Paid off. You play the odds,
What did you and Coach P say you were telling after the game?
Coach P, he just said the team never quit. And they did. He's right. I'm going to tell you something. I'm very impressed with his football team. I really am. And that's not saying that because he's my mentor. I'm just telling you. I'm very impressed. They had a great game plan coming in. I thought they were on fire. I thought they were playing really hard. And I thought they did a heck of a job. And I think they're going to win a bunch of games. And I'll say this here and now. I just think Coach P is one of the finer coaches in the country. And I like the foundation of that program right now. I really do. And I'm proud of that. I came here when I was a young kid. I wanted to be a football coach. And honestly, I'll tell you this quick. I always dreamed, I said, well, I wish in Connecticut they'd have a program like that time, like Ohio State, where they have a big state university and play big-time Division I football. And I said, one day, wouldn't that be cool? To come in here today and to see this field and to see Connecticut playing big-time football as a Connecticut guy, I think is terrific. I think that's terrific. But as a Philadelphia guy, I think what's really terrific is we're getting out of here 2-0 in the Big East Conference, 3-2 overall, with a young team, sort of futures bright, and a team that's got some grit, and a team that I think the city can be proud of. And what I really hope, and you can write this down, I really hope that we have a tremendous crowd for Rutgers next week. I want to see the link on fire. I want to see Philadelphia come out for Philadelphia's team and really cheer this gritty football team on as we take on the number whatever, 18, 17, whatever the heck they're going to be, ranked team in the country. It's pretty cool. That's what Bill and Joe and administrators, that's what they've all been dreaming about, getting back in this conference, being competitive and having a chance to have a big game come play in the stadium. What's the outcome going to be? Who the heck knows? But it's going to be a heck of a day, and we're going to fight like crazy, and this young team's going to battle, and it'll be big-time college football, and people appreciate the effort.
See, what did you change after the second touchdown? The quarterback was just filling you right on the seam.
Well, we changed some coverage. They were in a grouping throwing the ball that we did not anticipate happening. They were obviously throwing the ball far more than we planned coming into this football game. They got us in some matchup issues, some coverage issues, and we tried to make some adjustments at the half to change that up, which helped us. We got ourselves back together again. We really prepared for something different than that, to be honest. Not that they ran different really plays, just a mindset and a grouping attack.
Didn't you expect McCombs to, I don't know if you know about what his status was going to be. Was that part of why the game plan was what it was?
I'm sorry.
McCombs was
No.
in total absence. Is that why you game planned a certain way?
No. Oh, I don't know. I mean, I didn't think he wasn't playing.
Right.
I just felt like, it was going to be a real hard run game. I didn't think there'd be so much throwing out of that grouping. They were in a big grouping, a 21 grouping, and they were throwing the ball a bunch out of that. And it was just, kind of raised a little havoc with us early. And we're young. Sometimes when you're young, it starts coming at you. I told them at halftime, I go, we just got their best shot, and we're still standing. It's 14-7. It should have been 14-10, worst case scenario, and we're still standing. So we got their best shot. We weathered it. Now let's go out there and play football. That's kind of what happened.
Can you talk about what Harris did, especially against this running defense?
Last question.
Say that again?
What Harris did against this running defense?
I mean, he carried the whole load today. I mean, think about that, right? He took about every snap. Just about every snap he was in there and took. That's tough on a tailback. That's tough. I don't know how many yards he had rushing. He had 30 rushes for 142. That's a heavy load. That's a heavy load. Because Matt Brown was out. We played Jamie Gilmore a little bit. Now we're going to play him.
We gotta go. Steve.